And Grilling the Expert is presented by Burger King. JP Morosi, you are the bearer of bad news today, but I love you just the same. When Christian Yelich had 2 hits on Monday, everyone kind of just went, phew. Now the back is hurting him again, back on the injured list. I need updates on him and Jacob DeGrom, please.
Good morning, Lauren. Yes, a very concerning situation for the Milwaukee Brewers and Christian Yelich. Let's take a look at precisely what his manager, Craig Counsell, said as Yelich returned to the IL. Quote, last night told us that he's not going to be able to do this on a daily basis. And so we need to stop and completely resolve this before we start again. I think Christian would like to know what's going on. That's the frustrating part for everyone involved, and particularly for him. At this point, we don't have an answer. End quote. Very, very somber words from the Brewers. And so for now, Lauren, it's going to be up to Tyrone Taylor to continue what's been a really strong performance for him this season. His production, I think, has been one of the big stories of the Brewers so far this season. You see the average, the slugging percentage. Lauren, he was a second-round pick back in 2012 out of Torrance High School in California. It's taken him a while to develop. He's now 27 years of age. And his athleticism, I compare in some ways to a young Jason Worth. It took Worth a while to really get his big league career going, and I look at Tyrone Taylor in some of the same ways. A rangy outfielder has done a really good job. So, unfortunately for the Brewers, Yelich, the questions continue, but Tyrone Taylor poised to now have an even more important role for the Brewers going forward. As for Jacob DeGrom, the story there is much better, Lauren. The Mets have this concern about his lat injury, and that's why he was scratched from the start this week. They believe that with potentially a few days off to rest, this could get better. And so you credit Jacob and the Mets medical staff for getting out in front of this. For now, he is not going on the IL. There was some additional examination, but at the moment, it looks like he's going to be okay. But as we see here, Lauren, certainly a number of injuries in DeGrom's past, which explains their caution with him. As D-Rose said, he is arguably the best player in the world right now, and so they're going to be very, very careful indeed with DeGrom. A doubleheader for the Mets today. Unfortunately for them, Marcus Stroman, a sub-2 ERA. He has been tremendous for the Mets this year. He gets the ball in Game 1.
And two guys so integral to their team's success. What about Shohei Ohtani? JP, we saw him got hit over the weekend. His start was pushed back. Meanwhile, he's stretching singles into doubles, just being a complete ball player. When is he back on the mound, and what's the expectation?
Well, Lauren, I have good news. He is scheduled to pitch today, in fact, and we expect the Angels will continue their season-long plan to have him both pitch and hit on the same day. So it's been delayed, obviously, a couple days, but they expect him back on the mound today. And Lauren, when you look at the box scores of an Ohtani start and you see him batting towards the top of the lineup, Ohtani pitcher near the top of the lineup. But it is quite a sight to see in the box score and certainly on the field as well. Here is what he's been able to do on both sides of the ball. The 6 stolen bases. We need to go back in the archives and see how many times we've seen someone with 9 homers, 6 stolen bases, and that many strikeouts on the mound in the same year. This is a Ruthian phenomenon in baseball right now, Lauren. And so the best news I can share with you is that we're going to see the latest installment tonight as people who have voted for the MVP in the past, like myself, begin to think about what does an MVP candidate look like when you have that much great talent on both sides of the ball to compute. And I will say this, Lauren, I will say this on my own behalf. He was my preseason pick for MVP. It might be the one prediction I've shared on this show that actually comes to pass. We'll keep waiting on the Mariners making the playoffs, Lauren, but Ohtani, he might be the MVP this year.
You bragging about your predictions is pretty interesting. If you get one right over the last 10 years, it's okay, JP. Hey, the term you can always go home, kind of true for the Blue Jays. Like home? What are we talking about here?
Salem Field in Buffalo is their next stop, Lauren, to begin the month of June. A release just this morning, really a short time ago, from the Toronto Blue Jays, that Salem Field is now going to be their home from June 1 forward. We'll see what happens, of course, with the U.S.-Canada border and if it opens up during the course of the year. But this was, once the Jays had to go to Plan B, Lauren, this was always a possibility. The weather in Buffalo in April, sources say, not often great, certainly better in Florida at that time of year. But then once you get to the summer months, we saw last year, Buffalo was a great home for the Blue Jays. So they will move north and then see what becomes the situation. Of course, it will require some interesting developments with respect to their AAA schedule and other ramifications thereof. But right now, Lauren, the Blue Jays will move north. Salem Field was a great home for them last year. Very hitter-friendly, we know, and also some of the good news as well that we expect to see crowds. The latest number was around 24% capacity. So Blue Jays fans who are in upstate New York and able to go, or in the U.S. and able to travel there, they'll be able to see their Blue Jays in person this summer.
A beautiful field, inching further north. We will take it all day long. Grilling the Expert, presented by Burger King.